Lost in the desert. The field trip started with laughter and the hum of the yellow bus. Mateo looked out the window at the endless horizon of the painted desert. Beside him, Silt was drawing sketches of the strange, spiny cacti they passed. Suddenly, the bus let out a loud clank, followed by a hiss of white steam that clouded the windshield. The engine had given up, right in the middle of nowhere. Their teacher, Mr. Aris, told the students to stay put while he hiked to the high ridge to find a cell phone signal. But as the sun climbed higher, the bus became as hot as an oven. Silt and Zola stepped out onto the shimmering sand, squinting against the glare. The desert felt immense and very, very quiet. "We need to stay cool," Mateo said, joining them. He remembered his scout training. He pointed to a large, overhanging rock formation a short distance away. Zola nodded, clutching her backpack. "If we stay in the sun, we'll lose too much water," she noted. Together, they decided to move their supplies to the shade of the red rocks. Silt noticed something near the base of a dry wash. "Look, the sand is darker here," he whispered. He and Mateo knelt down, brushing away the top layer of hot dust. Silt knew that where the sand was damp, water might be hidden just beneath the surface. It was a small sign of hope in a land of thirst. Zola had a brilliant idea. "We can make a solar still," she exclaimed. She pulled a clear plastic sheet from her emergency kit. She and Mateo began to dig a deeper hole in the damp sand. Zola explained that the sun would turn the moisture in the ground into vapor, which would then collect on the plastic and drip into their cup. The hours passed slowly. Silt and Zola sat quietly under the rock, watching the tiny droplets of water slowly form on the underside of the plastic sheet. To keep their spirits up, they took turns telling stories of the oceans and the rain. They knew they had to be patient and keep their bodies still to conserve energy. As the sun began to dip below the mountains, the desert changed. The heat vanished, replaced by a biting chill. Mateo and Silt pulled out a bright, silvery thermal blanket from the bus's first aid kit. They huddled close together, the metallic fabric crinkling as they tried to trap their body heat against the cold night air. "We have to make sure the search planes see us," Zola said the next morning. She and Mateo gathered their brightest clothes and several white rocks. They worked hard, despite their tiredness, to form a giant X on a flat stretch of sand. It was a silent cry for help that could be seen from high above. Suddenly, a rhythmic thud-thud-thud echoed through the canyon. Silt and Zola jumped up, their hearts racing. High above, a small plane was circling. Silt grabbed his sketchbook and waved it frantically, while Zola jumped and pointed toward their giant X. The plane dipped its wings, signaling that they had been spotted. Within the hour, a rescue team arrived. Mateo and Zola watched as the rangers approached with cold water and smiles. They had survived the desert not by luck, but by working as a team. Mateo looked at his friends and realized that even in the harshest places, kindness and cooperation were the best tools for survival.